The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Owners Max Blank and Isaac Harris. The Shirtwaist Kings. It was located in the Asch building in Lower Manhattan, on the northwest corner of Green Street and Washington Place, just a few blocks from Broadway and the bustling shops of Ladies' Mile. Workers felt privileged to work in such a top-notch factory. The Asch building had the latest technology: electric lights, Bell telephones, high ceilings, and large windows. Not to mention the new singers, which had a revolutionary 3,000 stitches a minute. Women no longer had to endure the old pedal pumps with a measly 34 stitches a minute. Working 6 days a week, 14 hours a day, they could burn more than in other factories. At 4:45, workers would clean up their area and take their place in line for inspection. March 25th, 1911. The 8th, 9th, and 10th floors of the Asch building were bustling to make their weekly quota of shirtwaists, a new women's garment designed after men's shirts. It was almost time for the workers to gather their belongings and go home for the weekend. Eva Harris, the owner's sister, was working on the 8th floor when she first smelled the smoke. Despite attempts to contain the flames, the fire only grew larger. A call was made to the 10th floor, but no one alerted the hundreds of sewing machine operators on the 9th. Before they knew it, smoke and flames were everywhere. Workers dashed for the stairs and elevator, but the Washington doors were locked due to paranoid owners. Others made their way to the fire escape. Those who made it to the roof were able to climb across ladders to the building next door. Before long, their exits fell short. Fire clogged the stairway and the elevator stopped coming. Even the fire escape became twisted and mangled in the flames. It seemed the windows were their last hope. By this point, a crowd had gathered outside the Asch building. Firemen tried to aid those trapped inside, but their ladders fell short. Women began pouring from the windows, falling from 80 feet up, ripping through the firemen's blankets. Thud. Dead. The twisted, mangled bodies began piling up on the sidewalk. Less than a half an hour after the fire began, 146 Triangle workers lay dead. The next morning, the bodies were lined up along the pier, burned beyond recognition. Friends and family members searched for a necklace or an article of clothing to identify their dead. On April 5th, 1911, a swarm of New Yorkers from all walks of life lined the streets to pay respect to those who had lost their lives in the tragedy. In 1909, overcrowding, poor ventilation, and dangerous machinery in factories led to the first large-scale strike of women workers in American history. Though a settlement was reached, union demands for fire safety were not addressed. It seemed as though the death of these workers was the push legislators needed. Though Blanc and Harris were acquitted in court, everyone knew that something had to change. New laws required extinguishers, functioning smoke alarms and fire escapes, automatic sprinklers and fire drills. Factory doors were required to remain unlocked during hours of operation, and it was a necessity that the doors opened outward. Once the New York legislature enacted safety laws, other states in the U.S. followed suit. The safety precautions we find trivial today are a direct result of the tragedy at the Triangle Factory. These victims were martyrs in the fight for a social justice. The Triangle Factory fire burned a hole in the consciousness of America.